Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to online class on PHP add-on course. Last week we have started this course and we discussed the complete course structure of this PHP, what concepts we are going to cover under this PHP. I have explained to you, and after that we also seen the introduction to PHP. So once again I'm going to revise those concepts. Because I have not given the full details of the applications, the uses, the characteristics of this PHP language in our previous session. So once again, we'll start from the introduction part and we'll try to cover all these things. And we also, we will see how we can write the simple programs in PHP. So the environment setup also I have shown, how we can download the XAMPP server from the internet and how we can install in our computer and how we can configure it. All those things we have discussed. So let's just get into the concepts and see what we have over here. So the first thing, the introduction to PHP. The PHP, it stands for Hypertext Processor. PHP Hypertext Processor. So it is a programming language that allows us, I mean, if you opt the domain like a web developer, then this PHP language, it is very much useful to you. I mean to say. So how this PHP helpful in the sense it is helpful in adding the dynamic content to your website. So whatever website you are creating, you can add the dynamic content to your website with the help of this PHP language. What exactly does it mean with dynamic content? So dynamic content in the sense changing content. So in order to include the dynamic content to your website, you need to interact with the databases. So with the help of PHP, we can easily interact with a database. So this is our primary motto. Okay, whatever we do in PHP course, we try to interact with databases. We'll take the help of MySQL, or uh, we try to take the help of Oracle XC Express Edition, and we will interact with these databases and will retrieve the data from these databases and will display on the website. Okay, so generally this PHP, it is used for developing web-based software applications, not the standalone which we install in a computer and which we run in a computer. It is not like that. We develop the web-based software applications with the help of PHP. Okay, so whenever we have the concept of server-side scripting, we go for this PHP. Okay, how exactly this PHP started in the sense a group of people, they thought of developing an open source project. Okay, that evolved as more and more people find out how useful it was. So this started, a group of people, they started it like a small scale open source project, and later with more and more people added to that group, and they started using this PHP, and they find out that many of the advantages, many of the properties or features what they have inside this PHP, it is not there in any other programming language. It was at the time of 1994 we were talking about. So what has happened in the sense, Rasmus Ledroff, he is a person, what he has done, he unleashed, he gave the he did the invention, we can say, the first version of PHP way back in the 1994. Okay, in the year 1994 he introduced this concept of PHP, and the name of that person is Rasmus Ledroff. Okay, so this is something about the PHP introduction, the use, and the history of the PHP, we can say. So why one need to learn PHP? what is the purpose behind learning the PHP in the sense PHP is a must for students and working professionals. If you want to learn this language as a practice, it is a must. Okay. And working professionals to become a great software engineer, especially when they are working in web development domain. If you opt the domain of website development, because you already have the knowledge of this HTML, CSS, and you also have the knowledge of this SQL, MX Excel. So by keeping all these things in view, so I thought of giving this language, giving this add-on course on this PHP language. So in order to become a great engineer, software engineer in the website development domain, you need to have the knowledge of PHP. Or as a student, if you want to practice the stuff, if you want to practice the website development, then also you need the knowledge of PHP, because without dynamic content, your websites will look as a passive entity. Okay. Again, I mean, over the time, if you are looking the same website, so definitely they will get bored and they will not come to your website. The website dynamic content to the website, it is a must and should thing, isn't it? Assume your Facebook. Daily we visit Facebook. Why we visit Facebook daily? Because we got new things over there. Daily we got new things over there. That's the reason we visit Facebook. Assume your Facebook as a passive page, as not dynamic page, as a static page. Daily you're opening and you're seeing the same thing. What will happen? One day you open, second day you open, after that you will get bored, isn't it? You don't open and you will forget about it. So that's the reason adding dynamic content to the website, it is very much helpful. Believe me, we try to develop a similar Facebook page. I mean, not to that level, but I will show you how you can create a website where people can log in, and where people can post the stuff, and that posts, whatever they are posting, it should come on the wall of other account holders. Okay. You can start a Facebook kind of website by your own. That kind of thing will do. I mean, at the end of the session, we said that we are going to work on like 4 to 5 interactive sessions. Over there we'll practice this stuff, hands-on training, we said. So over there we are going to practice this Facebook example. So I will show you how we can create a login page. Using that login page, how the user can log in into his account, and after once he logged in, how he can see the posts, dynamic posts over there, posted by other other users of that website. So that I will show you. Okay. So so some of the key advantages of learning PHP are, I mean, PHP, the acronym, PHP Hypertext Processor. Okay, PHP is a server-side scripting language. It is not client-based or client-side scripting language. The client-side scripting language example is JavaScript, which I already said to you. This PHP is a server-side scripting language, and I have also given other examples for server-side scripting language, that is your servlets and your JSPs, isn't it? So this JSP, servlet, and this PHP, all these are server-side scripting languages. Okay. So you can embed the code of PHP inside HTML page. That is also one of the advantage of PHP. Okay. You no need to write a PHP file separately, rather inside the HTML code itself. That also I will show you in today's lecture. So when you are writing the HTML code, directly you can put the PHP code inside that HTML code. Okay. So it is used to manage dynamic content. It is used to access or interact with databases. It is used to manage the session tracking, cookies. Okay. Even you can build an entire e-commerce website just with the knowledge of PHP. Okay. You can even build an entire e-commerce website. So e-commerce website, you might have seen many different e-commerce websites. I mean, popular e-commerce websites we have nowadays, like your Amazon, your Flipkart. All these are examples for eBay, Okay, if you go to the international market, we have Walmart. All these are different e-commerce websites where the customers can log in and can buy the stuff, online stuff. Okay, such websites also you can develop only with the knowledge of PHP and that HTML and CSS. Okay, so yes, using this what we call the PHP, it is integrated with a number of popular databases. So when you're downloading the packages of PHP, you can even download the packages for inside the XAMPP server only. I'm saying you can download many different packages, including your MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Sybase, Informix, and Microsoft SQL Server. All these are different database management systems. Whatever I have listed over here, they are all examples for database management systems. They are like what we practiced. Oracle we already practiced. Inside your SQL course, we practiced Oracle. So they are all MySQL, Postgres, Sybase, and Informix, Microsoft SQL Server. All these are such examples similar to your Oracle. Okay, remember this one. PHP supports a large number of protocols in the sense in order to establish the communication between different resource managers. Okay, like your email database we were having, your file database we were having, your e-commerce database we are having. In order to establish the communication with these databases, we need certain protocols. So this PHP is supporting a large set of protocols, which also helps us in order to communicate with different databases. Like some of the examples I have given over here. In order to communicate with email servers, we have POP3 and IMAP. And in order to communicate with file servers, we have PHP4 and LDAP. Okay, and it is also have added support for Java and distributed object architecture, that is COM and Corba. So about these are very much advanced topics, and I don't think I have to give the explanation on these topics, but when you advance in your semesters, nevertheless you will get the idea of all these things. POP3, IMAP, all these things you will study in your computer networks. When we are talking about internet protocols, in detail you will study about these protocols in your computer network subject. I hope this computer networks you are having in 3-1. Okay, so what exactly is a network protocol, and what is the purpose of using a network protocol, what are the examples for network protocol, how these network protocols will work, what kind of architecture they will follow, everything you will study over there. So here, as examples, as names you remember. Okay, so php is, one of the basic advantage, or one of the primary advantage, what we can see is whatever syntax we write in PHP, it is same like your C language. Whatever basics we studied or discussed in C language, whatever programming constructs we discussed in C language, the same programming constructs, the same syntax and semantics we follow inside PHP. Remember this one. Okay, that is also one of the advantage. And characteristics, if you see the characteristics of PHP, or the properties of PHP. Okay, we have 5 important characteristics of PHP. Practical PHP's practical nature. Because of these 5 characteristics only, your PHP will become a practical. Okay, the very first is the simplicity. Simplicity in the sense to learn, to practice, to code this PHP programming language. It is very simple. It is very simple. One with minimum programming knowledge or with no programming knowledge at all can practice this PHP as the basic part. Okay, so as it majorly deals with your HTML and CSS, how easy learning HTML and CSS is, in that same way learning PHP is also very easy. Okay, that is simplicity characteristic. Then efficiency, as it is not going to have any complex architecture or complex syntax, that can give issues in your understanding or in your coding. So the efficiency level of this PHP is automatically increased when compared with other programming languages which follows complex syntax and semantics, complex settings in order to get it working. Your PHP is not such a thing. It is very simple. You can easily deploy this PHP server, and you can easily write PHP programs. You can easily execute. They will not take much computer resources in order to execute themselves. So all these are the supporting point in terms of efficiency of PHP. Okay, then security, as it is a server side scripting language and anybody tries to access this server, they have to depend on client based application, and with that client based applications it is very difficult to access this server unless the server gives response. Okay, unless the server allows you to access the internal parts. So they can only access a particular page and they can only see the content in that particular page. What exactly happening inside the server, how the code is executing, how it is returning the code back to the client, in what sense it is generating, what the client is looking inside the web browser, all those things or all those details are completely abstract, completely hidden from the end user. He cannot see what is happening inside the server, because in your internet, when you are searching, when you are doing something on the Google, you can only see the retrievals, but internally how the Google server is searching, I mean what repositories it is interacting, what databases it is interacting, how it is generating that final look for you, all those details are completely hidden from you. What you can see is only the result shown by the Google server. In that same way, you can whatever websites you are going to write using PHP, the complete details will be hidden. Only the output the end user can see. Hopefully you understood. Then flexibility, as this PHP you can integrate, you can embed in many different programming languages. Okay, you can embed this PHP code inside your Visual Basic. You can embed this PHP code inside your HTML. You can embed this PHP. I mean, many different IDEs, they are compatible with this PHP code. So that's the reason we call this PHP as a flexible programming language. Okay. So the flexibility is one of the characteristics of this PHP language. Then familiarity. So as we just discussed, that the code of PHP, it is very similar to your code of C language, and if you have the knowledge of C, if you have the knowledge of Java, the learning PHP, I doubt that you are going to face any kind of issues. Okay, it is very much easy. The understanding of SQL is required, the understanding of HTML CSS is required, and if you have the knowledge of HTML CSS databases, learning PHP, you need zero effort to pay. You can easily learn, you can easily practice, and you can easily master this PHP, believe me. So these are some of the characteristics of PHP language. Then we have the applications of PHP. As mentioned before, PHP is one of the most widely used programming language over the web. So as far as the website development, dynamic website development is concerned, server side scripting is concerned, many of the people, they go for PHP only because of this, because of its characteristics. Okay, the characteristics are the supporting points to opt PHP, we can say. Okay, PHP performs system functions. I mean, system functions, when we are saying dealing with files, how a file can be created, how a file can be opened, how you can read the content from a file, how you can write the content to a file, and how you can close a file. All these things you can do with what we call with more efficiency. You can easily operate, or you can easily perform the system functions like all these things. Okay, and PHP can handle forms in the in HTML. I guess you know the knowledge, you have the knowledge of a HTML form. In that we are going to have different input elements, and when you group all those elements together, we call it as a form, HTML form, because and it is going to have some interactivity towards the redirection. So either it can redirect the content to a server-side scripting language file, or it can redirect the content to another HTML page. Likewise, the form is going to have the redirecting capability. It can redirect whatever data you are going to put inside the form. It can redirect the data to some other location. Remember this one. So HTML form, handling HTML form inside PHP, it is very easy. That is, gathering data from files, save data into files. Through emails you can send data, return data to the user. So all these things you can do with the help of HTML forms. You can add, delete, modify elements within your database through PHP. So like how we have done the accessing or processing of database with the help of SQL by writing SQL queries, those SQL queries you can write, you can embed inside PHP, and you can run them according to your requirements, so that those queries going to modify the database. You can even create a table, you can delete a table, you can add the content inside the table, you can remove the content from a table, you can update the content which is there inside the table, likewise. Okay. And your PHP, it also supports the session mechanisms. So sessions, when it comes in our discussion, we'll have a full clarity discussion over there. Remember it as whenever you are visiting a particular website and you have logged in and you're not doing any activity for some time, then what will happen? Once the time elapse, whatever time is allotted to you, it is elapsed, what will happen? Immediately it will log you off, isn't it? Log you out. So that kind of thing, maintaining a particular session on a website, it is possible through this PHP. So that how we can do means, we have two different types of elements. One is sessions and the other one is cookie. Cookies and sessions are the best examples for maintaining sessions on websites. This, when it comes in our discussion, we'll discuss in detail. Okay. So using PHP, you can restrict users to access some pages of your websites. It is easily, you can easily achieve this one. So a kind of security we can provide on multiple pages from our website, and we can allow only some users to visit those pages, and other users we can simply block them from the access. Okay. So then it can support the encryption of data. You can even encrypt and decrypt the data. It is also a kind of security you can provide using PHP. So simple PHP programs we need to practice over here. The first program is to print hello world on the browser using echo and print. We have two different what we call commands over here to print the content on the output, that is nothing but the web browser. One is echo and the other one is print. Okay, this we will practice first, and then we will see how this BR tag, okay, break tag. I think this BR tag, it is familiar to you from HTML, isn't it? Break, to get a new line in your output or on the website, on the HTML content, we use this break tag. Okay, printing multiple line output on the browser. If you want to print multi-line output, multiple line output on the browser, we need to use this BR tag. Okay, so this also we will practice, and then how we can embed the PHP code inside HTML code, that also we need to practice. So quickly, one by one, these three things we will practice and we'll move forward. So for this, what we have to do, I will just close this one, discard the changes, then minimize this one. Okay, minimize this one too. And then yes, open your XAMPP server. Yeah, this is your XAMPP, and then what we have to do, start the Apache and start the MySQL database. Apache I am starting. It is successfully started, as it is giving green over here. Then start the MySQL. It is also started. Okay. So now what we have to do, yes, go to the admin. Okay. Go to the admin page. It will open the local host. Yes, as you can see, it will open the local host, and it will list the database, I mean dashboard for us. Then minimize this one, then go to your htdoc folder, because there only we are going to save all our PHP files. Okay, So many students, they told me that, sir, there are ways, there are possibilities that we can execute our PHP programs from anywhere on our uh, computer. But what is the use of that one? Yes, you can put a file on PHP file on the desktop and you can execute from there also. But what is the use? Anyhow, when we are talking about a web server, it is something like it is server side scripting. Nowhere we are talking about doing the stuff on our client computer, isn't it? Because taking multiple computers over here into picture, it is not possible. That's the reason we are going for what we call this XAMPP server. Okay, so then what we have to do, get to the htdocs folder, and in that folder check for your files, and you can write the files over there and you can practice the files from there. So how we can get into the htdocs? Open the this PC, then inside it go to C drive. Okay, inside this C drive, XAMPP folder, then inside this XAMPP htdocs. Okay, so inside htdocs, whatever files we have over here, don't change them, just create your file over here. So I'm writing one PHP document. So how we can generally do this one, or else we have here one test PHP. Okay, the last time I think we have created this test PHP source file. So for this source file only I'm going to edit. So right click on this one, then open with Edit Plus. I told you that we practice all our programs with Edit Plus. So just open this with Edit Plus. So here it is having some content. I will remove that content. Okay, now this is my Edit Plus, and over here itself we are going to practice the PHP code. So now what we have to do? Yes, start writing the PHP code for printing. Simple. The first task is here, right? This one. Yes, we need to print hello world using echo and print statement. So that I am going to do now. So here first start writing the PHP code, question mark PHP, then close this. So in between this only we are going to write all our code. So using the echo statement, we can print the content on the output screen. So here, this is my first program. Close it, put the semicolon at the end. So this is simple thing what we are doing. Now save the file. So now the file got saved. So next thing what we have to do, yes, go to your dashboard. Yeah, here this is my dashboard, and inside htdocs, what is my file name? Test is my file name. So how I have to open this test file? Test.php, because it is a PHP file. So go to here to your URL, then remove that dashboard, put only localhost. Okay, remove the dashboard and put only localhost, and type here test.php. Hit the enter key only after typing the complete name. Don't hit the enter key in the middle, because it will go to the Google search. If you hit the enter key in the middle, it will go to the Google search. We don't want that. Okay, so after typing the complete name test.php, hit the enter key. See, now this is my first program. You got the output. Whatever I have typed over here, you got that same thing on the output screen. This is my first program. Okay, and let us assume I want to do the same thing with print as well, isn't it? With print command as well. There is another command apart from this echo. There is another command like print command. Using that print command also you can print the content on the web browser. So simply I will take another print and put here, this statement is from print command. Okay, so now using print also we can print the content on the web browser. Again, save it. Okay, program got saved. Now go to the your web page and simply refresh the page. See, you got another statement. This statement is from print command. So whatever we are printing, I mean using two different commands we are printing, but everything it is printing inside the same line. So suppose if you want, what is our next thing over there? Yes, br tag we need to practice. I mean if you want the content in separate line, what you have to do, you have to use the br command. That is here you have to put I guess here also you can put, let's just check what will happen if I put the br over here. If it gives issues, then we'll go to the what we call changing. Okay, let me just see. I think it will give issue. We'll just see what will happen. So again the program is saved. Now go to command prompt, and as I said, it will give parsing error it is giving. So generally we should not put that br command outside, rather we have to include inside the string. Okay, you remove this from here and include inside string. So here we have added the br tag. So using br tag, what will happen? Yeah, you will get a new line now. So see that, again go to your browser and refresh. Yes, you can see this is my first program, and this statement is print command, from print command. Likewise we are getting the output in 2 lines. Hopefully you understood. So this is how you can print the output in multiple lines. In order to print the output in multiple lines, you can go for br tag, break tag. Okay, so using echo you can print, and using print you can print the stuff on the output screen. Hopefully you understood. So the next thing what we have, yeah, embedding PHP code inside HTML code. So the way how we are writing the PHP code, in that same way you have to write. But when you are writing the HTML code, what you are doing, first you will start the HTML tag, isn't it? Then the title, something you will put title tag, and here you will give the title as my first page, my first web page. Then close the title. Okay, then what you will put here, you will put, I think, a body. You will take body tag, and inside the body tag I'm taking h1 tag to print something. Okay, this web page is going to have PHP code. Just a simple message I am printing. Okay, it is not going to affect your PHP code. Okay, don't think that when you are including the PHP code you must have to write this one. It is not like that. I'm just giving a message, that's it. So then you include the PHP code as it is, as we have written like this. This is okay, and you print another statement over here. Yeah, here you put from PHP. So this you are getting from PHP. Here also same thing, from PHP colon, like this. At the end we kept the semicolon. Okay, then after closing the PHP code, what you have to close the body. Okay, okay, yeah, here you put another statement, h2, and here end of web page, and close the h2. So like this, here we are closing the body and then close the HTML. That's it, and save this. Yes, even if you are including the HTML code, I mean even if you are embedding the PHP code inside HTML code, even a single line of PHP code if the file is having, then you have to save that file with .php extension only. You assume that the PHP, the server-side scripting, will override the HTML code. Remember in this way. So as your HTML file, it is having the PHP code, you have to save the file name with .php extension only. Okay, no .html as you do regularly, because whenever you are writing the HTML code, you save the file with .html, isn't it? Here it is not like that. If your HTML file is having the PHP code, embedded PHP code, you need to save your file with .php extension only. That is what we have done just now. we saved our file with .php only. So this is from here to here it is HTML code, and here to here it is PHP code, and here to here it is HTML code again. So now we see if everything goes fine, we will not get any issues, otherwise it will give issues. So the program is saved, everything is done. Yes, you can see this web page is going to have PHP code. Where we have written this thing? Inside HTML we have written this thing, isn't it? Inside HTML we have written this web page is going to have PHP code. This we have written inside HTML. Then we have started the PHP code, and inside PHP code using echo and print we are printing two messages from PHP. This is my first web page, this is my first page, and this statement is from print command. Likewise these two statements I have printed. Then after that again inside the HTML only I print this statement. Okay, I printed this statement, end of web page I am getting over here. Then closing the body, closing the HTML. So in this way you can embedding in the sense adding as a part, embedding in the sense adding as a part. So this HTML code we are adding as a this PHP code we are adding as a part into the HTML code. Remember this one. So how we are starting the PHP using this tag, and how we are closing the PHP using this tag. There are other ways also to start the PHP code and to end the PHP code inside the HTML code, that we will see over here. So these three we have covered just now so far. So printing simple messages using echo and print statement, that we have done. Okay. Then printing multi-line output using the BR tag, that we have done. Then embedding PHP code inside the HTML code, this also I have shown you. Okay. So when we are embedding the PHP code inside the HTML code, we are using less than question mark PHP, and this is as a starting point, and the end point question mark greater than, and in between we are keeping the PHP code, and before that we have added HTML code, and after this also you can put the HTML code. So this sort of understanding we had so far, isn't it? This sort of understanding we had so far. So now starting the PHP code and ending the PHP code, there are different ways we have. Okay, so we call that, I mean, starting PHP and ending the PHP inside HTML, we call it as escaping to PHP. From HTML to PHP we are escaping, and from PHP again we are going back to HTML. So we call that mechanism as escaping to PHP. So the PHP parsing engine needs a way to differentiate PHP code from other elements inside the page. Because inside a single page only we are writing both HTML and PHP, and if you go to XML is also an extensible markup language. It is also a way of writing code. So if you go for XML also, that XML code also we will write inside the same file. So there we are writing three different types of codes. One is the HTML, text markup language, then PHP, then XML. Three different types of codes we are going to write. So how we are going to differentiate that three different types of codes in the sense by using this what we call escaping to PHP types only. Okay, so the PHP parsing engine needs a way to differentiate PHP code from other elements inside the page. The mechanism for doing so is known as escaping to PHP. That escaping we can do in four different ways. The first one is canonical PHP tags. The second one is short open tags. We also call them as SGML tags. Short open tags are SGML tags, and there is another way, the third way, ASP, active server pages style tags, and the final one, HTML script tag. So in among these four, we mainly uses the first one and the last one. These two, the second one and the third one, as a discussion we discuss, but we never use these things because they require some type of configuration file settings that I don't want to do now, that I don't want to explain you now, because you people will get confused. Okay, So simply remember the canonical PHP tag and the HTML script tag we use practically, and the other options we don't practice. Okay, just as a discussion we have, but we don't practice. So quickly, first one, the canonical PHP tag, that is most widely used or universally accepted tagging technique of PHP, escaping technique to PHP. So that is so far whatever we used. So like less than followed by question mark PHP, and this is to start the PHP code, and to end the PHP code we use this one, this token combination, question mark and greater than. This is to stop. Hopefully you understood. So there is another one. So this is universally accepted. So this one we also follow the same thing. Then short open or SGML style of tagging. There, this token is used as the start tag. And I know it is a shorthand notation, but in order to practice this one, we need to do some configuration. See, configuration option in your php.ini file. We need to do some settings in this particular file. We need to go to this file and we need to do some settings over here. That I don't want. Because of that reason, we are not using. And what tags we can use as escaping to PHP, in the sense this less than, question mark and question mark greater than. Okay, what is the difference between this and this? In the sense, only this PHP we are adding over here. That's it. Only that kind of advantage, only that kind of shorthand notation we are going to get. But this additional thing we need to remember. I don't want that extra burden. So that's the reason I'm happy with using this one. I don't want to change anything. If I go and change something in this INI file, configuration file, then there is a possibility that all my PHP configurations will change and complete PHP execution will stop. I don't want that one. So the next thing is ASP, active server page style tagging, and it is also requires your INI file, php.ini file configuration. Okay, here you can see that one, the active server page configuration, and over here you can use this as the start token, and this as the stop token. So for this also to work, we need to do some settings inside php.ini file. Again, I don't want to do that. Then HTML script tag. Using script tag also you can start writing the PHP code and you can stop writing the PHP code. It is definitely we are going to practice very soon. This will work. This entire tag will work as a starting point, and over here you have to put your PHP code, and then this serves as the end tag or stop tag. Likewise, also you can add the PHP code inside any of the HTML page or XML page. Hopefully you understood. So these are the four techniques in which we can escape to PHP. Okay, from our regular language, like you are writing the HTML code and you want to escape to PHP, use any of these four techniques, then include your code, embed your code inside the HTML, then again come back to HTML and complete the HTML code likewise. Okay, then commenting in PHP. Comments in how many different ways? In two different ways. Like your C language, in two different ways we can do commenting. That is single line comments and multi-line comments. The first way is single line comment, and the second way is the multi-line comment. And why we use these comments? Basically, you know, for documentation purpose, in order to give the understanding on the code what you are writing. So to give the explanation, to give the description about the code, we use these comments. Okay, so the first one, single line comments. So only one line of comment to include inside your PHP code, we use this single line comment. For that you can use two different symbols. One is the hashtag you can use, hash you can use, this one, or double forward slash you can use, like your C language. This we are using, this type of single line comment we are using in C language as well, isn't it? So this is allowed as well as this hashtag is allowed. So one different one simple example they have given over here. Inside PHP code, what we are doing, this is a comment and this is the second line of comment. So in order to differentiate two comments, we are using hashtag, two separate lines, and a third line, with the help of this we are commenting. two forward slashes. So this entire thing will be ignored by your PHP interpreter. Okay, it will not consider this entire thing. It will simply ignore this thing as a comment, and it will execute only this statement, and it will print this message on the website, I mean on the web page. So we'll go and we'll see how we can practice this single line comment, or after practicing multi-line comment. Okay, both together we will practice. Okay, the multi-line comment, to give the multiple lines of comments inside your PHP code, we go for this multi-line comment, and this is same like your C language. Okay, forward slash asterisk symbol, and for this serves as the start token, and the end token is the reverse of it. Okay, asterisk and forward slash, this serves as the end token. Okay, this is start token and this is end token. So quickly go and practice these two, single line comment and multi-line comment, how you can give. So here I want to give the same PHP program I'm practicing, and here I'm giving the single line comment. Put hashtag and write the code. So this is first line of comment. Okay, give another line using two forward slash. This is second line of comment. So this entire thing will be ignored by the PHP processor or PHP interpreter. So it will not print these two. It will, these things will be ignored like a comment only, a documentation only. So go to your output and execute. You are getting the same thing. Nothing you got from those two lines what you have written. They have been ignored by the compiler. So to put the multi-line comment, what you have to do, yes, like this. Sorry, forward slash asterisk will start the multi-line comment, and asterisk and forward slash will close the multiple line comment. This is a multi-line comment which span more than one line in PHP. So this is a multi-line comment. How many lines I have written? 4 lines I have written. So this is a single line comment. This is another single line comment. These two are the ways to give a single line comment inside your PHP, and this is a way in which you can give a multi-line comment. 4 lines you have written. So now save this. Again, go to the browser and execute. Nothing changes over here. As it is, you are getting. So whatever code you have written, whatever single line comment, multi-line comment you have written, they have been ignored by the compiler. They are not changing anything in your code, isn't it? They are not changing anything in your output. Hopefully you understood. Okay, these are the comments which we practiced inside PHP, and there are some other things that we need to practice. Inshallah, in our tomorrow's session, we'll wind up those things. Up to variables, data types, we have to cover by tomorrow's session. Okay, as much as possible, try to practice. Only practice will give you the understanding. Without practice, you will not understand anything. Try to download this XAMPP server from internet. Try to configure it, because I have created a separate video on that one, how you can configure the XAMPP server into your computer. And integrating this MySQL or integrating this Oracle with the XAMPP server, that we will do very soon. Okay, once we wind up this basic stuff, like up to arrays we have to wind up. Once we wind up to arrays, then immediately we'll get into the website development and that interactive sessions. Okay, and how we can make our pages, web pages, dynamic, that also we will see. Okay, and I need your brainstorming over there. I need your creativity over there, because when I'm going to give the projects, I need the results from your side. Okay, hopefully you understood. Thank you very much, students.